sitting here today with our CEO, Mr. Tim Gutwein, and with our Vice President, Mr. Gunther Kreps. We're going to dive into some background. Each one of them have a unique history. I've known one for a decent amount of time. We'll dive into that here in a little bit. But Tim, would you mind to dive into your unique background? What led you here?
Sure. So my name is Tim Gutwein. I'm the CEO and owner of AgXplore. What brought me to AgXplore is actually kind of a little bit of a twisted road, but I was in the financial services business and was looking for other investment opportunities outside of stocks and bonds and real estate. And just through a set of unique circumstances, ran into the founder of AgXplore. Loved what they were doing in terms of products and the benefits they were bringing to farmers, so I had an opportunity to join the company. Yeah. And that was back in 2006. Yeah. So it's been a minute.
So where was your start? What, from my understanding, you grew up in a different country, correct? Would you mind to dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I was born in Bangkok, Thailand. My mother and father were missionaries there. Shortly after I was born, we moved to a small village in northeast Thailand, up near the country of Laos, near Vietnam, and this was actually during the Vietnam War. Lived in a little village that when we moved there didn't have electricity, didn't have running water. So I was homeschooled till I was 13, went to boarding school, and eventually landed in Missouri, went to Mizzou.
Gunther, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Gunther Kreps. I'm from Rossville, Indiana. I'm the Executive Vice President of AgXplore. Part of my responsibility here is I cover product development, the agronomy team, and the marketing team. So a lot of influence on sales as well. Don't manage that department, but a lot of influence on it. But been here for the last nearly 6 years now.
So you're basically, what you're saying is you're a jack of all trades.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so dive into your background. You managed a location a long time ago, right? And then kind of go into your trajectory to this point.
Yeah. So I grew up on a farm in northern Indiana, very northern Indiana. Corn, soybeans, wheat, and alfalfa. Went to Purdue, got a couple degrees, one in agronomy, one in ag business. Wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Got in the agronomy world.
Real quick, why did you choose Purdue?
So look, I grew up an IU fan, and I was the black sheep of my family, so no longer an IU fan. Let me make that clear. So, but obviously a good ag school. Very involved in it still today with the ag econ department, and do a lot with the ag salespeople on campus still. But ended up getting in the agronomy world with a co-op system in Indiana, and ended up managing one. So I spent 7 years in ag retail. About four and a half of that managing a plant. From there, I had an opportunity to go be a several state sales manager for a competitive company.
With a corporate company?
With a corporate company.
Okay.
Yep. And then I got promoted there to a global plant nutrition marketing manager, and then onto another role with that company that moved me to Illinois. And one day I got a phone call from Tim, and Tim and I had done a business interaction in 2010, and I've always had a good relationship with Tim. He was looking for a new role as he was becoming the sole owner of AgXplore. And as I sat there and I thought about AgXplore, I looked at the business model and thought, man, this company has just so much opportunity to do things with it. And I looked at their plant nutrition, which had a solid base, but there's just so much more they could do. And I remember one time a person told me that, Zach, only presidents get to leave legacies, which I think is a bunch of crap, to be honest with you. I think we could all leave legacies in our own ways. That's what Tim is allowing all of us at AgXplore to do, is leave our mark on an industry and challenge the status quo in what we do. And that's why I'm here, right? So, and I've been here 6 years now, and I love every minute. And I tell people, Zach, that I don't have to go to work. I get to go to work.
So not only have you had an impact on sales, marketing, products, product development, people, ag in itself, I keep going on and on, but you've also brought people along with you when you've come here, right? Yeah. Go over that process and what you've, who you've looked for, or what you've looked for in bringing people here.
Yeah, so one thing that I look for is top performers, obviously. We all do that, right? But the top performer that I'm looking for is that person that's self-motivated and self-determined, which are two attributes you can't teach people. There's been a couple people that I've been able to bring with me. One was a gentleman by the name of Brent Diedrich. Brent's our national sales manager today.
And didn't start out as that, right?
Didn't start out as that, no. In fact, he was a team lead when we first brought him in. He was the first hire that I brought in when I came here. And I've known Brent since he graduated college, and he's in his late 30s now. So I've enjoyed the opportunity to watch his experience and him grow up and evolve into the person that he is today. I'm really proud of him. And he's now our national sales manager and chief revenue officer. Then I've had people like Scott Bingman.
Who?
Right? Scott Bingman.
Oh, Scott. Yeah.
You might know him.
Yeah.
Scott Bingman. But Scott and I have a long history of working together and a great relationship. And he is a very close personal friend of mine. And today he's our top sales rep and going out there and make sales every day. So in this business that I've been blessed to be in for over 20 years now, I've got a lot of great relationships out there, and a lot of people have come with us and taken a chance on me and you, right, to be able to grow this thing. So it's been an honor that these people were confident in us and confident in AgX.
So Tim, I want to continue to hit on your background and the culture aspect, and the family and faith that you brought here, just the true foundation. So growing up in Thailand to now, what have you kept with you? What have you implemented into AgXplore as a foundation because of your background?
It's interesting. So as I think about my parents, one of the things that they do really, really well is build relationships with people, and they also are very hospitable. So they have a ton of guests in their home. And so I think one of the things that I've tried to do is just build on that foundation that my parents modeled for me as a child. Is how do we create an atmosphere where people feel welcome, they feel like they're part of the family, and even in the way we try to interact with our customers, we try to interact very much as friends, as opposed to people sitting across the desk from each other arm wrestling over whatever it is that people arm wrestle over. So we like to think of ourselves as being on the same side of the table as our customers. Yeah,
and that's something you've done extremely well with is welcoming people into the company, and I think that is something so unique for us because you're not just a CEO that's signing checks or staying out of the business side of things. You're in it. You're helping. You're boots on the ground yourself.
Yep.
You ride with our reps, right? And you're even at the very beginning of the process in interviews. You have helped talk through things with people in the very beginning. And that's where you're involved with me as well, at going and having dinners with people and making sure that this aligns with both sides. So would you mind to kind of dive into the interview process and what when you talk to somebody, what you're looking for in them, and then vice versa, making sure they're comfortable?
Sure. So there are three main qualities. I think Gunny touched on these a minute ago, but three main qualities that we're looking for in people. Number one is you've got to have a passion to succeed. Because this business is not easy. It's a hard business. It takes a lot of work. So you have to have a passion to succeed, number one. Number two is you need to understand agronomy if you're going to be in our sales department. And at least have some basic understanding of how plants grow and how products like ours can impact a crop. And then finally, we look for people that have established relationships. But I think over and above that, we're looking for just character and quality of people. We have a great team right now. We don't have any drama. We don't have any people knocking heads with each other. It's just a very, very easy place to work, and we don't have people fighting and infighting. And so we're really looking for people to join the team and be part of the team, and bring value to the company. The other thing that I think is really, really critical is, as a smaller company, we have about 70 employees right now, but as a smaller company, we kind of joke around the company that we only have two job titles. One is sales, the other is sales assistant. And I think the key with that is that we all have to show up for work and we all have to help out. And it doesn't mean that's not my lane or that's not my job. Everything is everybody's job, and we all have to show up and give it 100% every day.
Yeah, which is, again, going back to you love riding with reps, right? Dive into that. What when you're riding with reps, from my understanding, it's not just going and seeing customers. It's getting to know the rep.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's a couple things. Obviously, is getting to know the reps, understanding the challenges and struggles that they face, sitting across the table from a customer and listening to them and understanding what it is that they're wrestling with and struggling with. Because when I have a good understanding of that, then we can start to solve those kind of problems. We are a product company. We have great products. Gunny and his team has done a great job of building a good portfolio of products. But at the end of the day, products don't matter a whit, right? It's can we solve problems for people? And so when we show up to solve problems, everybody wins.
Right. And even for our own employees, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So, and this is a both of you question. So whoever wants to take this is completely fine. You guys don't just answer the phone for products and agronomy assistance and needing help with this. You guys answer the phone on a relationship level, right? What does that mean to you when someone calls you and says, "Hey, I need help with this. I need advice on this life," right? Just advice on life. What does that mean to you?
People matter. I've had an experience in my life where I joined a company and I was Gunther Kreps. The CEO knew who I was. He knew my wife's name. He knew my daughter's name. And eventually that culture changed and I became employee number 305-8457. So I felt that impersonal touch and working somewhere. I also felt it from doing business relationships. And I think that when people pick up the phone and reach out to Tim or myself, it's a very heartfelt conversation on whatever it may be, like whether it's an employee, doesn't matter what employee it is. It can be people that are in our offices, in our factories, in our sales department, in our sales support. But we're very passionate about people, and people come first in our business.
To Gunny's point, clearly we're a for-profit business and we show up to try to make money. That's a given, right? But what are we really in business for? I think it's to improve people's lives, right? It's to improve the lives of our customers. It's to help our dealer network be more profitable so that they can do better things for their employees. It's to help our farmer customers, be more profitable so that they can be more sustainable and run a better operation that allows them to last, hopefully, multiple generations. It's to provide better quality of life for you guys, right? And so, yeah, we have to make money to do that. But I think the reason we show up for work is not just to make profit. The reason we show up to work is to make things better for people.
Right.
And I think if we keep our eye on that ball, we're going to win, right? And I was thinking about that in context of 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, or 25 years from now. Does our portfolio look the same? No. But if we continue to bring value to people, right? If we continue to make a positive impact on people's lives, we should be in business a long time because that's never going out of style, right? That product is never going away, and we can do that.
Right. And you guys have created roles for people. You guys have specifically went out of your way. I think I would be an example of that. You guys have created roles for people and went out of your way to make sure that it's not about can you sell sulfur, can you sell boron. It's about who you are as an individual, and that's a testament to you guys and a testament to our culture and foundation. But one thing I do want to touch on real quick, Gunny, the reason I highlighted earlier is you work for a corporate company, right? Go into that process of working for a corporate company to now literally a family-owned company, a independently owned company. Road bumps, positives, negatives, go into it all. I want to dive into that a little bit.
I had a good experience at the corporate company that I was with. Every company that I've ever been with has got its pluses and its minuses. In a corporate company, you can get a level of comfort and a level of security and a level of safety because you can get lost amongst the numbers. There also comes a point in time where I guess for me, the life change that happened for me of why I wanted to make a change. Is I wanted to do something that was really impactful on agriculture, and it was a passion of mine. AgX, being a smaller family-owned company, allowed me that opportunity to do that, and I'm still getting to do that, whether it's in product development or more importantly, people development. We've had some road bumps, during this transition. We took over from a founder, right, that ran the company one way, and we wanted to incorporate more robust business model to it, to be able to expand and grow our people and our product lines and our capacities. So some of the road bumps we've had is, there's a model that I live by, and you've heard me say this before, that in life there are wins and there are learns. It's only a loss if you choose not to learn from it. I've learned the difference between leadership and management, and there's a big difference between those two roles. And our company is about leadership. We don't like to micromanage our people, and we've had more management titles in our company that are no longer here, which was a learn, right? We've learned some things not to do, which are just important as the things you learn what you want to do. So we've had some roller coaster rides there and some speed bumps, if you'll call them that. But we've also learned to become better and stronger because of it.
Yeah.
So this type of company, one thing that's different about working in a company like AgXplore is more is expected out of you. Personally, I love that. I love the fact that Tim, it's demanding, it's expected, that we perform. Like every single one of us, all 70 of our employees are expected to perform. You can't get lost in the mix here. There's no safety net. But at the same time, there's a sense of pride in what your outcome is and what you do. And there's no bones about it. This is the most thankful company I've ever worked for. You know, it's one thing to get a nice little bonus at the end of the year or whenever, a quarterly bonus, whatever it may be. You know what the power of a thank you does, Zach? Mm-hmm. That drives people, especially when you do it in front of others. That's something that Tim is great at. That's something that I've learned from Tim that you need to do is you need to praise people in front of audiences and just let them know how much you appreciate them. There was a time in the corporate world where I felt appreciated, and there was a time where I didn't feel appreciated. I know I'm appreciated here, and I want others to know that I get to work with, and I appreciate them too.
Yeah, and that is again a testament to you guys on creating that foundation, that culture. You guys go out of your way to say thank you as well. And I know you're talking about sales reps and agronomy teams saying thank you to you guys. That is absolutely the case. They do reach out and are very appreciative of the culture, but it starts from top down, right? And you guys set the example of doing that first, right? You guys, I don't know how many times you've called me or people in the company and just said, hey, what's going on? How you doing today? Right? Again, I know you do the same thing, and it goes back to the relationship piece that we were talking about earlier. You guys make it a true friendship family here. And there's two questions I want to end on. Tim, I want you to lead off on the first one here, and then Gunny, follow up if you can. What's the future of AgXplore? What are we doing? Where are we going? What does that look like?
Yeah, great question, Zach. So a couple of things. Number one, you guys have all been down to the Nash Road facility, and I think just the progress we've made in terms of product development, product quality, traceability of raw materials all the way through to a finished product, and then the quality of understanding exactly what's going on with every single product. I think we're just light years ahead of where we were, but I still think there's work to be done. So how do we make sure that we have the best products on the market? That when someone buys something from us, it does exactly what we say it's going to do, and we never have to bring product back because we have such good quality control when we send product out. So that's the first thing.
And real quick, I want to highlight that. You're saying we're investing, right?
Yes.
You're investing not only in the people, but making sure that people have adequate ammunition to go out and be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. We're investing in processes. We're investing in people. But in terms of like where I see the company, 3 years, 5 years, or however far down the road, right now sort of the big buzzword is biologicals, right? Everybody's talking about biologicals, and there's a new biological company popping up every single day. And are we in that space? Maybe a little bit, right, Gunny? We have a couple products that kind of play in that space. But at the end of the day, plant nutrition, right? How do we take a plant and make it perform to its genetic potential? Right now in the United States, corn yields about 30% of its genetic potential, right? We can do better. And so the question is from a plant nutrition point of view, what can we do to help close that gap? Clearly there's things we can't control. We can't control how hot it is, right? We can't control certain things, but we can make sure the plant has all the right nutrition and all the right stuff that it needs in order to grow and be and flourish. And so I think our commitment is to continue to build products and understand how to use those products to close that gap, that genetic potential gap that's hanging out there, and they talk about fewer acres feeding more people, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's more demand for fuel and fiber, and food, right? And so how do we get land to produce more?
And when land is going away,
so we can do that. Yeah. We can do that. And so I think that's our vision for the future: is how do we continue to help farmers produce at a higher and higher level to meet Ironheart names.
Mm-hmm.
So Zach, I'm going to take you back to be able to go forward
Okay.
in answering this. You know what? When I got here, we had a solid book of business and we had a solid product line. We've built from that. If you look at our sales today, 60% of what we sell is from products we didn't have when Tim and I came together back in 2018. So which is crazy to think about what we've done. We're going to continue to do what we've done, challenging the status quo when we think about our product line. Give you an example. In 2019, Tim and I were sitting in an Asian country, and we were with a supplier. We were having a conversation, and I looked at Tim and I said, Tim, we should come out with this product that's got a PGR and a foliar fertilizer all in one. And the person that was sitting across the desk from us says, nobody's ever registered one in the US before that way. And I'm like, not yet. And Tim has allowed us to do that. So we've challenged the status quo and bringing products to the marketplace and what they look like and what we can do with them. It took 3.5 years. We got it across the finish line. That's called market tech, as you know. We're going to continue to do that. As we push forward, everything that we do, we're going to challenge the status quo. And in everything that we do, we're going to do the best. It is our mission to be the best in the industry at education. Right? For our retailers, for their customers, the farmers, we want to be the point of education. We want to give that why. Why a corn plant responds the way it does. Why a cotton plant responds the way that it does. That's our goal. That's our mission. And we're going to be more than just a products company. And we're going to be a source of education.
Yeah. And so that is, again, keep highlighting this. You guys are investing in our people. You guys are investing in our portfolio. You guys are trying to make sure that the grower, the customer, the retailer, the co-op, whoever is successful. Mm-hmm. You guys are putting a lot of time, money, effort into doing that. And again, that's a huge testament to you guys and our leadership and our foundation, right? It is you guys are willing to go the extra mile to make sure we're successful, make sure everyone's successful. So we as in you guys, have made some investments into brick and mortar. We've had the opportunity to bring some customers, hang out, do some different unique things with them at our home office.
Yeah.
Would you guys mind to just elaborate on what that is and what we're doing?
Yeah. So when I acquired the company back in 2018, we had one facility in Parma, Missouri, little town about 60 miles from here. I want to say a couple things about Parma. The team down there, in my view, has done a phenomenal job of taking that facility to the next level. So when you show up at the Parma facility, it doesn't look like it did 5 years ago. And it's neat, it's tidy, it's organized, they have great processes in place, they have good safety policies in place. Done a phenomenal job. About 2 years ago, Gunny, 2 or 3 years ago, we had the opportunity to acquire a facility down on Nash Road in Scott City, Missouri, which is just a few miles down the road here. And it was really part of our vision to professionalize the company, professionalize our processes. And so we've just invested a ton of time in the Nash Road facility. The space that we're in today is what we call Sappington. And so this is in Jackson, Missouri, which is once again about 10 miles from the Nash Road facility. And this facility was initially built out and designed sort of as an executive office. Currently, just Gary and myself office out of this space. Everybody else offices out of Nash or Parma or from their homes. The reason we continue to have this space is we use it for entertaining customers. So when we bring customers in, we want to have a very professional setting, which we have right here in the conference room. But then we also want to have that personal side. And so after they do a plant tour, we'll typically go to the back. We have a really nice kitchen facility. And then we have dinner with our customers. And we just hang out, get to know each other. The old saying is people do business with people. And so we just want to get to know the people we're doing business with. And we want them to get to know us. And part of the reason that's so important is we all recognize that there's going to be times when things don't go exactly as planned, right? But if you have that personal relationship, I think we can overcome the problems, right? But if we're simply business adversaries, right, how do I get a better deal? How do I, that's not what we're interested in. We want to be partners. We want to have a business where people really feel welcome and comfortable. And even this little space that we're in,
right.
It's kind of like a living room, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of hang out here sometimes.
So Gunny, real quick, I know both of you have had good experiences here with customers. I want you to hit on that, but I also want you to talk about some experiences that may have caused some adjustments.
Yeah, like back in the kitchen type of
Yeah, yeah.
So first off, I got to give all the credit to Tim on this. And one day, so just so you know, like when I come to town, so I live 360 miles away, and I come here once a month, right? Probably once, maybe twice a month. I stay at Tim's house. Got my own floor, got my own residence, I have my own apartment. But again, we're a close family. When I'm at Tim's house, and we have, like last night, people came over, we hang out in the kitchen.
Right.
And he said, Gunny, he said, you know what? I've got this vision. Like, let's hang out in the kitchen with customers. And I'm telling you, the experience that it's been has just been phenomenal. Like, we've got a beautiful kitchen, and we have a great big table where we can all sit on the table. We pray together, we eat together, we laugh together, we have drinks together.
At this office, right?
At this office, and it's just a great experience. But we had this beautiful conference room beside us that we started meeting off, and then we take them down to Nashville to show them our investment. Our investment in what we've done with manufacturing is just unbelievable, especially for a family-owned business. We have a 50,000 square foot building that has a huge office complex in it. That's above and beyond that 50,000 square foot. But we've got some blending equipment that I've been in fertilizer manufacturing most of my career. I've never seen until we did this, till we built this out. From static mixing to the tower that we put in that was custom made for us in Michigan. We've done some very unique stuff, and it shows the level of intensity and how passionate we are about manufacturing products. And that customer experience, when they see that and they see our culture in this office, they realize, wow, this company is different. And then, at night, I can't even count how many business meetings I've gone out to a loud restaurant. You can only focus in on one person, and you really can't hear what's going on in the conversation. When we come back here at night and we do the dinner and we do a full spread, it's a 4-course meal, and it's just really awesome.
There's no closing time.
There's no closing time, and people are usually hugging at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Saying, "All right, man, thanks for the great time," and out the door we go, and we go on home. We've had some interesting nights.
Yeah.
We've got this oven that's a nemesis of ours, and Tim, it's a monster of an oven. It's a challenge. It's a kind of demon that lives in it.
Really?
We've had a night where the doggone oven would get past 160 degrees, and we took one of the world's best looking briskets and did it on a frying pan. And we laughed and joked. It was awful, but the customer we had a great experience. We laughed and we had a great outcome because of the meeting.
Right.
We
were able to grow with the customer, right?
Grew significantly.
Even though we had to make an adjustment,
Yep. And stuff like that happens. It's not about the problem. It's what you do with the problem. There's those that find challenge in every opportunity, and those that find opportunity in every challenge. And on stuff like that, we found opportunities, and we made the best out of it.
Yep. So let's keep rolling here. What am I not asking? What do you want everybody to know? Either one of you guys can step in here. What am I missing on who you are, your trajectory, your path, AgXplore alone?
Yeah, I'd like to take that one.
Yeah.
I think one of the beauties of our business is most of the people that work here do their job in a manner that suits them, right? So we try not to put really tight systems in place that say you've got to do everything this way, right? So the way John sells is going to look a little bit different than the way Scott Bingman sells, right? Because they have different personalities, they have different skill sets. And so I think the beauty of AgX is you can kind of tailor your job and tailor your success to your personal skills.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, because I think when we can show up authentically at what we're good at, rather than try to fit in this little box that somebody tried to make for us,
right.
I think that's when people flourish and people have fun. And so I think that for me, as I even think about like Amanda and Ben, the way they do their jobs is probably not what we had in mind, but it far exceeds what we had in mind.
Right. And for example, we brought on someone as a sales rep, and they said, hey, my passion's data, my passion's agronomy. And although we brought them on as a sales rep, you guys aren't saying, hey, that's your job, you're sticking to that. We're going to shove a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
You guys just said, let's make something work.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Our sales manager, Brent Diedrich, he lives by a motto of put your best team on the floor, but allow them to play to their strengths, just like a basketball team. And Brent's a former basketball player. and he allows us to do this, and we allow our people to do that. You know, we've got a sales rep in Missouri that's a phenomenal agronomist, and he is so very well versed in research, and we're letting him evolve into a unique position, and you know, that's how nimble we are. I mean, we're able to do that, make those decisions, and call those audibles on people, and it's a pretty neat experience.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to go back and touch on is the investment in the people. You guys have invested in a leadership company.
Yeah, it's right today.
You want to elaborate on that and why that investment is important for our team?
You want to take it? Or you want to take it? So back to our comments earlier, people are important to us, and it's not just about moving sales in our company and moving products in our company. Our people are important. Our customers are important to us. We've worked with a company called Thrive Today, which is owned by a gentleman by Mark Jewell, and he does a leadership event. It's not to go out and bring people in, our own people or our customers in, and teach them about sales or teach them about our products. It's about looking deep into ourselves and how we become better people and make the best of ourselves so that we can be a light on other people. And that's something that I've never seen another company that I've ever worked for or been associated with do. And we started a couple years ago bringing customers to it. And you know, the relationships that evolve after that experience is just phenomenal to watch. The last time we did it, I literally just sat back in the room and I witnessed something that was just special. And it's really cool to see. You know, every company out there takes their customer on fishing trips and they take them on hunting trips. And you know, yes, we do stuff like that to build relationships, but really an event like that, it's special. And it's unique.
Yeah. So we're coast to coast, North Carolina to California.
Yep.
We're tip to bottom, right? And so we are flying our whole team into one location and giving everybody the opportunity to bring in a customer, right? And so that's quite an investment. That takes a little bit of time and money to make sure everybody can get there. But you guys are willing to do that for the betterment of the company and the betterment of relationships, which is, again, I keep hitting on this, is a huge testament to what we're trying to do here.
So Zach, I would add to that. I think the number one resource that we have to offer is our people, right? And so I can learn from, bang the microphone here, I can learn from other people on the team, right? And other people can learn from me. And so it doesn't matter if it's somebody in production and somebody in sales, or if it's somebody in logistics and somebody, I think we can all benefit from getting together and exchanging ideas. And so we really encourage that. And the same thing with farmers. We can put farmers in the same room. They're going to benefit from interacting with each other. We are certainly going to benefit when we interact with our customers in that manner. So yeah, the more time, and unfortunately, as geographically spread out as we are, it's difficult to get people together. Yeah. But the more time we can spend together, the better. Probably the single biggest indicator how successful a sales rep's going to be is how well they interact with the other people on the team, how much they use that resource that is their teammates.
Yeah, you want to hit on Hunger Games with that? I feel like that's a good lead.
Yeah, you know, part of Hunger Games, this is one of Brent's creations. That's to have some fun with creating a culture of where we want to do and kind of influence some of our sales motivations. And Hunger Games is something that we put together that we put districts together. We have 7 districts.
Yeah, so literally like the movie, right?
Just like the movie. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. And then we put out these monthly challenges. And they have to work together as a team. And really what we're trying to do is invest in people to get them to, one, understand their peers and know their peers and get to experience who they are. So they'll start learning on them and build a network internally. So really it's evolved nicely. And it's also about coaching people, a fun way to coach people on sales. Like we've had zinc challenges, we've had architect challenges, and we've had a lot of fun doing it. And then we put a nice cash reward out there for people. Yeah. And then ultimately we have a grand prize at the end of the year, which is pretty considerable. But you know, it's creates some competition, it creates some camaraderie, creates some trash talking, which I think is kind of fun. Yeah. But you know, that's something that we're willing to invest in. And that guy, Zach, it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all, but it's not about the money. It's about what we get.
So being the VP, right? You have to work with the CEO quite a bit, hand in hand. What's that relationship like?
Yeah. So you said a key word. A lot of people say they work for somebody. I get to say that I work with somebody. And if I say, Tim, I work for you, he's like, no, Gunny, you work with me. And he's very adamant about that we're partners in the business, and even though I'm an employee, we're partners in this thing. Something that's unique about working here and working for Tim is Tim has brought us in and actually allowed us to make decisions and move the business forward. And not every position that I've been in did you have the power to do such a thing. He truly believes in us, and it's not just me. It's Frank, it's you, the functions that you have. He believes in his people.
Yeah.
And you know what? What's nice about Tim is he allows us to make mistakes, because we're going to learn from him. That's that wins and learns. We'll learn from him and move forward. And I promise you, the one thing about making mistakes in this company, and it's a culture because of Tim. We allow people to fall, and we pick them up with grace, right? And we don't beat people up for decisions that may have not been the right decision.
I've fallen many times, and both of you guys have helped me out.
Yeah,
a lot.
and he's one of those that's got a big heart. He's like, look, we're going to pick people up with grace, and we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward as a team. But the thing I absolutely love about Tim is he lets me do my job. Right? I don't feel like I have to go to him like a used car salesman and ask for permission for everything that we do. And he allows us and empowers us to make decisions for our responsibilities, which is special. So I just wanted to throw that out there about him. It's been a great experience for me. And again, I'm going to end it on this. I get to work at AgXplore.
That's right.
Thank you,
One last question here. We can cut this if it doesn't need to be in this video. I'm going to ask it. What did we do last night? Did we? I think we
Science.
Yes, science. We had some science conversations, and I think this again is a testament to Tim. We had the opportunity to go to. I'm going to highlight this. I know you don't like this. We had the opportunity to go to the CEO's house, the Chief Executive Office house, and hang out. What did we do?
Well, I will say my house looked like we had a frat party this morning. So we were picking pizza boxes and other things to bring about.
Yeah.
But we got it all cleaned up.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we miss the opportunity of doing as coworkers sometimes is just having fun.
Yeah.
And we had fun last night.
Yep.
No one was harmed, I don't believe.
No. There was fire involved.
Portables.
Yeah. An air compressor. Potatoes. I know it's a weird combination. Fire, air compressor, potatoes, but we figured it out.
There's a trash can this morning. Highly
Demolished.
Highly demolished.
Yeah.
We destroyed a sign last night, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we just had fun, right?
Yeah.
We,
Yeah, you haven't said anything yet. Yeah.
We built relationships last night.
Yeah.
We laughed, we joked, we made fun of people that missed shots.
Yeah. In my
Your game
defense,
sucks,
we
but,
had a technical agronomist helping me out shoot a gun, so I'm gonna blame him.
Yes.
It was not my fault. I was there for the release. I had the what do you call that? The valve.
The valve.
I had the valve part. Bryce Erdman's a technical agronomist. Not gonna.
Bryce is pretty good at aiming.
Yeah, well, for you
Yeah,
guys.
for us.
Yeah.
Not for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we hit the target every time, right, Bryce? except for with what's the last projectile we shot?
Oh,
The bearing thing.
Bearing thing, yeah.
Yeah, I missed it because that was going to be like the coup de grace.
That was gonna be a problem.
Yeah, they're here in the background, by the way. So.
Yeah. It was fun. You know, it's good to let your guard down.
Yeah.
Get to know people. Tim's a person just like everybody else, right? And the fact that we can hang out together with the CEO and the owner of this company and just let your guard down and be friends, that's special. You don't get that. You don't get that in most companies.
Yeah, one of the individuals that was there he's new. He started with us in January, and he just kept saying, "This is awesome. Tim and Gunny are awesome." And he was not able to do these types of things at his prior work. So that's what we do here, right? We get to build relationships and have fun. And
The question is, Are you looking for a new job today?
But
you can work with a little more professional organization.
yeah. Anyways, so I'm Zach Bingman. This is our CEO Tim Gutwein. This is our Vice President Gunther Kreps. Thanks for joining us today.